Look at the little shield. Howdy everyone, this is Mopbot, this is the Diamond Society, and welcome back to episode number 25. We're here behind my nether portal, and check it out. We finally have a banner. It's nothing spectacular. It's pretty much the same as my YouTube icon, actually, just missing the B. My YouTube icon is just the green box with the M and the B in there in orange, and couldn't fit both onto one banner, so we just got the M. We could actually make a second banner next to it with the B. That could be a thing, but then there's our shield in here. Let's take that out. Whoop. I love how they just drop right next to you now. Okay, let's put this... Oh, does it just naturally... Oh, awesome. I just had it selected. Okay, let's get out of this. And then let's go like that. And, yep, there we go. Flashing my logo everywhere I go now. Although it kind of looks like an H. With the like, the gray border around it like that. I'm not going to worry about it. I honestly don't even really want to be using shields. Look at this. If we put it in my offhand, and then we put something else in my right hand... Yeah, that's kind of a lot of the screen gone. And it kind of takes away from what I actually want to show off. So we're just going to put that back in there for now. It's more of a decorative bit now. And we've done a few of those around spawn as well in certain locations, like the Diamond Hotel, if you've seen clips of that. I don't think I've really been there on camera, but then there's another place too. So we're kind of like spreading our stuff out now, and we actually have that, which is kind of cool. I'm kind of one of the last people to actually do that on the server. There's plenty of other ones. Mine's not even, it doesn't even come close to some of the other ones. There's some really, really cool ones, but yep, there's mine. It's just my thing. It's just my thing. And that's all there is to worry about. So, looking at this, we still have the 16-bit texture pack. Haven't seen it updated for the 64-bit. And I probably could find one for the 32. I think people had found one for the 32-bit, which I could possibly be using. But I'm not too fussed by it. I do kind of like the 16. I don't really mind it even a little bit. Honestly, I have no preference of which the three that I should actually use. I will include a straw poll down in the description. And you guys can just vote on what you want to see from this, which texture pack I should use. Should I even bother going back up to 64, or should I just keep it on 16? I know some people, and I say some people, a lot of people actually prefer 16. So if you prefer to watch 16, I'm totally okay with that, because I have absolutely no preference either way. Or 32, that'll be like the third option for 32. I've used that in the past, and then went up to 64. I don't know, I've never received a complaint on it, but I've also taken Twitter polls, and it looks like 16 is the most popular. So in today's episode, we're going to be working on a new farm, because I just found out that there was a fix for 1.9, and I want to build it because it's pretty cool. Let's first look at what we did in last episode, and that was just over here. I was just over here. We did this little fishing valley, or alcove. I don't even know what to call this thing. It's a wooded area that was kind of carved out. So we got the little train station here to toss stuff back over. Still haven't finished this thing, though. We're just missing a few powered rails. We have all the iron in. We just need a few of those gold ones. And then coming over here, we have the storage system, which I think is empty at the moment. Yeah, we cleared everything out of there. We should probably put that back on, actually. And then going up here, we have the auto fishery that we worked 2 episodes ago. And this thing is a beast. I love this thing. This bending is a lifesaver. We don't need any other fishing rods, which is pretty awesome. And then the rest of this area I'm pretty fond of. I really like the kind of natural look. That episode had just come out, and it looks like people are really liking this thing as well. So the farm that I want to build today, which is pretty cool, is by Uneribit. It is a carrot, potato. I think it also does wheat and now beetroot in 1.9. There was a fix for it because there are some slight changes, I think is what I read from the description. I don't know if I was understanding that correctly, but it's a giant farm basically that auto harvests those plants, and we don't have something like that. Now, I did my own design for that, but it's super small. It's nothing spectacular. It would take about 4 seconds to build. It is super efficient, but, well, that wouldn't be much of a project now, would it? I want something bigger. I want something cool. I want something that I can do a lot of building around. And I think this is just the perfect thing. We might have that as kind of like a micro farm somewhere in there if I find room for it, but that'll be way later in the future if I feel like this one isn't fast enough. And we can add layers to it too as well. When you see me building it, you'll see what I mean by the extra layers, but it's totally expandable. We could go all the way up to sky limit if we want to, but I think we're only going to do 2 layers for carrots and for potatoes. And I'm thinking I'm going to put it right here. I contemplated putting it over here because we don't actually need to go into it, right? It's an auto farm. And so we don't really need to be accessing it. So I thought, maybe get it out here, get it out of the way. And then over here, just focus on buildings that we actually can go into, right? Like this, we can actually go in there and harvest up the trees. We can go down below and access all the, like the wood train to go past and to dump off those supplies. That's over there. That's my mining tunnel. We need to get to that, so we put that in kind of a location that we can access. This we don't have to, but I thought we could just start to fill up this area. We've got a lot of open space right here. Nope, this is the one I want. Let's look at, this thing's huge. And I'm not used to this mode, but we got a lot of space So we're going to start filling this in. And I think the first one could go right here. It's not going to be super tall. I think it's going to be shorter than this, actually. Only right about there, probably where those stairs are, is going to be as tall as it is. So it won't really be in the way. We'll decorate up around it too, make it look all natural. And then it should fit in pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing the base. And then we'll be right back. Okay, here we have the first layer. And you can see it's pretty big. There's quite a lot going on here. As far as size goes, it is all grass right now. This will be tilled land, but essentially what's going on, and I will leave a link to the description down below. The description of it's probably a lot better than I can give, but essentially, this is the center right here, and a villager can see every single spot, so it'll go around harvesting up all the crops, bring them back to the center, and there's going to be another villager right in here somewhere, like up there, I think, and it tries to throw the stuff to that other villager to breed with it, and then the items just go through a water stream, and instead of going up to that villager, they ended up going down into item collection, and then all the items get stored. So these two never actually breed, we don't get babies running around or anything, it's just all the items are going to get sent off and back into the storage unit over there. And then the exact same thing will be happening on top of this, because we'll have another layer on top of this for a different plant. We could potentially do 4 layers. I was only planning on doing carrots and potatoes, but this was actually really easy to do, so we might do 4 layers if I can get my hands on beetroot. I think I'll do 3 for sure, depending on how tall it is. If it's too tall, I probably won't do it, but we could totally do seeds and then get that stuff too. Don't really need it, but hey, if we can build a farm for it, it's going to be quite fun to actually build it. Beetroot, yeah, we haven't had any beetroot seeds yet, so that might be something to hold off on. This is really easily expandable though, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. Now we are going to need a few villagers for this. Obviously we've got the breeder back there. I've got a few sectioned off right now that have been coming in instead of just killing them, because the thing for the villager storage is full right now. Instead of killing the extra villagers that come in, I've just been storing them so that we actually have some farmers to do all the farming here. And then we'll probably grab another villager for the center so that we can save the actual farmers for actually doing all this stuff here. So here we have the build world by Unirybit that actually shows step-by-step how to build this thing. I absolutely love this. Now come to think of it, I don't know if this is actually the correct part to be standing. I don't know if this is the 1.9 part or not. This is fixed for 1.9. I think there's some slight changes. But going through this and actually building it is really simple with this. And this is really, really helpful. Now, flying around, this is going to be kind of what it looks like. The color scheme is going to be a little bit similar, using the grays and the browns. I'll be using some lighter colors and avoiding the greens. I'll just be using clears. Right here, you can see they've all got the kind of like the Spectre element on them. I think this is the 1.9 fix. It looks pretty much the same, actually. Let's just break in there and see if this is updated. Yeah, okay, you can actually see this working here. So the guy will stand right there. There's the villager right there, and he's going to toss stuff, go through that water stream there, and then down there is where everything's going to be collected. So he can currently see all this stuff here, these potatoes that need to be harvested. I'm not sure why he's not running around. I really don't know, actually. And I'm also not sure the purpose of this, but I'll have to put that in, of course. I don't want to just be trying to cut corners here and then having the farm not work, because this thing will be pretty awesome to have. And I'm just going to repair that because I don't know how important this is. One thing I really like about this is that it does not rely on the use of... Oh, I can see him start to walk around now. Does not rely on the use of villages to actually operate. So we can have this near other doors and it's not going to affect it. Now, as far as the steps go, we've done each one of these up until this is, I believe, the one that I'm on. No, a little bit further. We're on this one here. This is the last one before the roof goes on. And let's see, we've got the little A-shaped thingy there for the little bits to actually get the villagers in. And then we have all this dirt around here and all the lights in as well. The torch is the same that we have. Although I did also put lily pads on here so that they can't fall in the water. That comes later in the design, although I don't really see why it can't go in now. So this is the exact same size. Obviously, just a little bit different color scheme. We're not going to be going with this because obviously that does not match the savannah that we're in. And as long as we're in this world, I probably should mention that if you want to download this yourself, go ahead and click on the link in the description. That'll bring you to Unirybit's design, the tutorial that I mentioned a little bit earlier, and go down to the description on that, and then the world download will be there. I don't know if I can actually post that in my description, so that's just the easier way of doing it. Okay, the next bit of farm is done, and yeah, we're kind of bowing around on steps here. This wasn't actually the next step, but I had time, so I just went out and did it, and you can see that all the land is now hydrated. So none of it is actually just going to kind of like break if there's nothing on it, which is really good just in case the villager doesn't actually plant anything there. Nothing's actually going to get ruined. So we have the villager in here, which is actually really easy. Although if you were looking really closely in the last clip, you'll notice that there was supposed to be a trapdoor right there, not glass. And I don't know if that's actually necessary. I was thinking about it, and I really had no clue what the purpose was. So didn't put it here. Obviously I can put it in later, but I think it's really important as a farm designer like myself to kind of like test farms and see how they work rather than just if they work. You know, I could just build a farm and say, cool, it works and be done with it. Or I could kind of play with it a little bit and kind of learn more about it and kind of see, you know, what's necessary, what's not necessary. Maybe learn a bit more about the game that could help me produce other farms, which is, of course, a really good thing to do. But in getting this villager in here, I had to actually capture the couple from over there. This thing actually broke in 1.9, so I'm going to have to do something about that. But for the moment, I was just kind of like, you know, riding rails right past and stuff and just kind of doing some fancy work down there to get different of these guys over into the storage area. So stored another one for the next layer above this, but then also came across another librarian. Now this guy's brilliant. Let's pop over in there because this is actually what I've really been waiting for. And let's see, let's just hop right over that. Look at this guy. He's over down here on the end. Yeah, I've still got a ton of rails laying around here. Look at this. Go to the next one. Mending. We have a mending librarian. He's beautiful. Whoa. Okay. He's beautiful. It's great. And I want to know what else it has to trade. Definitely going to get up with that. But then we got another one down there. We got the 2 farmers, one for each layer. And then we got the other non-farmer for the next layer. We want to be saving the farmers for actually doing the farming. So I didn't use those at there. Oh, that was not good. But anyway, then when we get the carrots and the potatoes actually over here, we need a place to store them. So I'm probably going to drop quartz and glass. This is probably going to have to be extended at some point because, well, there's no more room. We filled up the last one with fish and the other last one with poppies. We got one for seeds already, so that won't be a problem. And then we've got some other kind of plant. I guess we don't have lots of cactus, but maybe a farm for that will be coming down the road. So, yeah, we're going to have to move some stuff around. A bigger storage room might have been a nice thing. I thought 32 auto slots and the rest not auto would have been pretty good, but, well, apparently not. Apparently we needed bigger, so maybe we just go underground or something if we really have to. But we're probably also at some point going to need a bigger trading hall. The whole kind of train station idea was pretty cool, but it could have been bigger. We could have accommodated for much more because I love the librarians, especially now with the new enchantments. I don't know if librarians can actually have Frostwalker, though, but there's so many enchantments, and blacksmiths are really good to have for all the tools and stuff. We could definitely use the bigger trading hall, but for now, this is what we have, and I'm just ever so glad to actually have this guy. This is going to be pretty odd. That was not the right... Oh, that was the right one. I just thought it was cheaper. Okay. Yeah, this guy's going to be awesome. I'm going to trade up with him and see what his other ones are. Okay, so then other than the mending for 26 emeralds, we also got respiration 1 for 6. And I just realized I did that wrong. I've been using eyes and just doing Roman numerals. Now I did a 1. I'll have to change that. That kind of bothers me. But yeah, would have liked to see better. Thought it was going to be pretty good because we started off with mending. Although if we go in here, we do have a smite 4 for only 28 emeralds, which means smite 5 would be 56. The other smite 5 that actually trades smite 5 straight up is 60. So I guess we'd be saving a few emeralds there if I actually used it. But not probably that big of a deal. I could actually add another level smite, though, to my sword. Probably wouldn't be the worst thing to do, especially if we then put the mending on it. I don't know if it would actually take all that, though. That might be too many additions to it. And then we do have a 20 emerald name tag trade, which is the cheapest it can be as far as I know. We've got a couple of 20. Haven't seen any lower than that. I don't know if it can go lower, or maybe it's just more rare. But yeah, I mean, you know, he's kind of like a middle guy, but definitely very, very good to have that mending. If we go over here, I do actually have one put on a tool already. I had to trade it to unlock the paper trade again, but here it is. My next shovel after this one breaks, it's on its last repair, is efficiency 5 and breaking 3 and mending. So that thing should never break, which is going to be pretty awesome. And of course, we can put it on the rest of my tools now as well. Maybe not that one, because I don't use that a whole lot. But the farm hasn't actually come along at all. Now I just need to get the walls up and then actually get the things in. As far as I know, this might actually be operational after we put the walls and the other villager in there. Okay, the farm's now operational. Had to do just a few bits to actually make this thing work. And the trapdoor is actually up there now. Now there's dirt around it, and that's to keep this block dark, and I'll get to that in a second. That actually kind of goes along with that change that I made there. But anyway, yeah, that trapdoor is there so that the layer above this is going to be able to throw stuff to the top one and not to this one. We don't want it to throw to this one. Apparently that's a thing that could happen in watching the tutorial. He mentioned that. Although to mention the tutorial, I don't know if I explained that too well. I watched that clip back, and I think I kind of mentioned some things wrong. This remake is not by Uniribit. The original one is. This is a modified version. Same goes for the test world. So I'm not actually linking to Uniribit's design, although I will link to that one as well. I'm also going to link to the new one. I don't know why that's empty. But yeah, so minor confusion there. I don't know how well I actually explained that, but that's the right way. So, oops, things happen. So anyway, We changed this also. This is now a stone pressure plate, and this is explained in that video as well. A wooden pressure plate can be activated by items, so this actually needs to be empty all the time, and it needs a block update from this. If items hit it, it's going to constantly get a block update when it shouldn't, like that. Like, that would have actually hit it and caused an issue, where you only want it activating when that thing actually walks out of it, so that empties as it goes past. If you watch a tutorial, it'll make a lot more sense on how everything actually works. But essentially, these things can't get hit by items, so that helps the farm quite a bit. So now all the decorating is done as well, and everything's in. I've just been letting this thing go, and holy cow, this thing's insane. We've gotten over a chest already of carrots. That is absolutely crazy. Let's come out here. And it is nighttime right now, because I got a new sword, and I kind of want to test it out, but there's no actually mobs around. Now, what the heck? There were just a ton of mobs around here. But anyway, pretty simple so far. It's not actually that great. We've just got a bit of acacia right there, some andesite along the bottom, and then the wood right there, just to follow the half slabs that go along there. It's nothing special. There'll be another layer on top of this that's exactly the same, no different, just for the potatoes. Now, the whole purpose of creating just these two is so that I can trade with my farmer villager in there, and then that guy is going to give me the emeralds for, giving him that stuff. But then there's nothing really for bread, which I would get from the wheat, and we don't have beetroot yet. So I think I'm just going to stick with these two layers for this episode. And yeah, so you can see how strong that sword actually is. It does have Bane on it, so that's kind of quick. That doesn't take a whole lot. And it has mending on it too, which is awesome. So I'm never really going to need another one. I could, I think, put more on it. I could possibly put Smite on it as well. Did I not put Bane on it? No, that's right. Bane wouldn't go on it. So I don't actually know if Smite would go on it. But maybe Fire Aspect would. I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with that a little bit. And then here's the zombie too. If you crit, unless you're me and you're bad. Yeah, so it doesn't take horribly long. I don't know if it takes less than the other one, but it's going to heal itself, which is pretty good. We did have to deactivate this thing, though, because the villager in there was recognizing this village. That's no bueno, because he would just sit there, and I think he's trying to breed with those guys. I think's what's happening. I'm not entirely sure if that is what was happening, but essentially we don't want that because then he's not in farming mode. He's not going to be doing any of this, and this is just kind of a waste. I thought it'd be far enough away, but it wasn't, which is unfortunate. Same for this thing. It was actually too close. That just it looks to me like it was supposed to be far enough away, but we don't really need this. We have the Titan. We have plenty of iron, so we don't need this at all. That should probably be closed up. We don't want to be falling down there. I don't actually need to get down there anymore. I'll get to that in a second, but yeah, you can see the dirt capsule on top. That'll go away until we get the second layer on, and then we'll just do like a little roof to keep it dark so that the block update rather can actually happen so that carrot in there will break. Now, I tried something because this is 1.9 over here. Using the path block instead of the andesite. I don't know how well this works. Like, I like to be able to use new features. It's definitely something I want to be taking advantage of. But, I mean, it matches the Savannah, but I don't know if it's better than the andesite or not. The andesite kind of fits pretty well because we have lots of grays around here. You'll have to let me know what you all think about this one because I really don't know. It gets pretty bright during the day, right in the center, just because of how the shading is, and then dark around the sides. So, I don't know if that kind of affects it or what. But I'm just kind of in two parts about this. Not really sure. Not going to do the rest of it. Just wanted to do that little bit to test it. And of course, that would affect what we do over here. We'd probably just keep it andesite right here and then just run the path right by it. I don't know if that's going to kind of break up the flow or anything. And that might also affect the decoration that we're going to do around here. I guess we'll have to actually find out what we do to decorate this place afterward. There's a lot of creepers over there. I don't like that. I'm going to stay away from that. But then anyway, the one last thing that I did. And let's pop over into my storage unit. Because I did replace those two with carrots and potatoes. Now let's come over here and look at how many carrots I've gotten. This is absolutely insane. This is not hooked up yet, but this was just from like one little sitting. I wasn't sitting there for long. We got a few potatoes too. Those were just from collecting from other things. We haven't actually put that in yet, but let's go over there and see how much now we have besides that. That plus this is absolutely insane. I got a little hole entry thing back here. And if we go down here, hope there's no, yeah, there's zombies. They like to crowd around down here. Okay, there's quite a few of them. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like being able to attack slowly. Die. How many? Come on, no. Are we good? I think we're good. Okay, so in here, holy cow, we have another chest and then a couple extra slots in there. So this thing is super efficient. Absolutely loving it. But now I need to crack on and get the next layer done. That's going to be super helpful to have all those potatoes. And then we can trade with that last farmer. And my bow, yeah, that thing's a one-hit kill. This thing's pretty good. Oh, unless we do that, we don't pull back all the way. Can we kill a skeleton in one? There we go. And there we go. The farm is done. And this was actually a really fun farm to build. I really enjoyed doing this. I think it looks pretty cool too. It's quite big, although it's not horribly tall. It is, I think, shorter than this. Yeah, it ended up being right about there, right where I thought it was going to be. Not going to actually decorate the rest of it in this episode, though. That's going to be based on whether or not I end up changing the rest of the road. And if you look over here, again, here it is. I also did then kind of like do like a little trim on this area here. And that's just in the stone slabs. And then filled up some more of the area with this kind of natural look here. Kind of like that. Kind of don't. I don't know if the gray pops out too much and kind of breaks up the natural look. But then we'll have something down here. And we'll kind of separate it off into like different sections. We did the same thing over here. We'll probably do the same thing around in this area. But gonna kind of play at that one because obviously we do still need room for more buildings over here. This area is not complete. But, you know, when it is, we might have more of this. And so I think overall this area is starting to look pretty cool. Really like that we've started to fill up this area here. We got plenty more room to work with. And then if we go down here, what's really nice about this farm is that all the drops go into one place. And there they are. This thing fills up insanely quickly too. That's awesome. We already have over a double chest of carrots in here. Potatoes haven't been running quite as long, so we don't have quite as many of those. But then in the next episode, we'll also be able to move this thing and get all the resources actually into the storage unit. So that'll be pretty awesome. But anyway, hope you all have enjoyed. Go and subscribe for more. But anyway, this has been MopBot, and I'll see y'all next time.